In a small village, there was a grand monastery, where a respected old wise monk lived. Among his many disciples was a young disciple who couldn't stop talking. He spent his days gossiping and collecting stories when he went out to get donations, eagerly sharing them with the other disciples. Often, he spoke badly of others, pretending to be friendly while trying to prove his own importance. This young disciple would often boast, "I come from a wealthy family and could be living in comfort. But I gave it all up to seek the truth and understand life. My sacrifice is greater than yours." Everyone around him noticed his need for validation and his large ego. One day, the old wise monk called all the young disciples together and suggested they each take a vow for the next month to test and strengthen their inner discipline. Each young disciple chose a vow based on their own strengths and shared it with the old wise monk. When it was the boastful young disciple's turn, he said, "I don't want an ordinary vow. I want something grand, something that matches my abilities." The old wise monk smiled and asked, "Are you sure you can fulfill such a vow? Perhaps you should choose one yourself." The young disciples insisted, "No, Master. I will keep any vow you give me." The old wise monk nodded and replied, "Very well. Your vow is to remain completely silent for the next month. You must not speak a single word." The young disciples, confident and perhaps too confident, accepted the vow, thinking it would be easy. But by the second day, the silence began to weigh on him. He longed to speak, to share his thoughts and respond to others' conversations. By the fourth day, he felt as if he might burst. The silence was suffocating him. He went to the old wise monk and wrote down his struggle. "I can't bear this silence any longer, Master. I feel as if I'm going mad." The old wise monk read his words and gently reminded him, "Resolutions are meant to challenge us. The harder they are, the more we grow. But if you truly cannot handle it, you may break your vow and return to your old ways." Determined, the young disciples bowed to the old wise monk and returned to his hut, vowing to keep his silence no matter how hard it was. Days turned into weeks, and while other young disciples broke their vows, he persevered. He avoided all interactions, even going into the forest to escape the tempting voices of the monastery. After a month of silence, he approached the old wise monk and wrote, "Master, I have kept my vow, but my mind is louder than ever. I am silent on the outside, but inside, my thoughts are as noisy as ever. Does my vow still hold?" The old wise monk nodded and said, "Yes, your silence holds. But true silence comes from within. To reach that, you must learn to quiet your mind, not just your voice. Go deeper into solitude if you need to, away from all distractions." Taking his old wise monk's advice, the young disciple went deep into the forest. At first, the silence around him only made the noise in his mind louder. Memories, grievances, old conversations, all fought for his attention. But he persisted, releasing each thought as it arose, until one day, he felt a deep inner stillness. For the first time, he noticed the subtle sounds of the forest, the leaves rustling in the wind, the chirping of birds, the gentle flow of a stream. Peace enveloped him. Months passed, and when he finally returned to the monastery, the other young disciples welcomed him warmly, noticing a change in him. He was calm, his words measured, his presence serene. When he approached the old wise monk, he bowed deeply and asked, "Master, am I still silent?" The old wise monk looked at him and said, "Yes, you are silent. Your words may flow, but your heart is quiet." The young disciples shared, "I realized that the true enemy of silence wasn't my voice, but my inner noise, my judgments, my pride, my need to prove myself. When I let go of these, I found peace. I learned that by speaking less and listening more, I could hear the beauty in everything, even in silence itself." The old wise monk smiled. Most of our troubles come from talking more than listening. Words waste our energy, pull us outward, and distract us from the journey within. To find real peace, one must learn the art of inner silence. The young disciples had learned a valuable lesson: true silence is not just the absence of words but the quieting of the mind. From that day on, he spoke thoughtfully and listened with intention, forever changed by his journey into the heart of silence. If we look closely at our lives, we'll notice how often we are consumed by the noise within us, the endless chatter of thoughts, judgments, comparisons, and the need to prove ourselves. Like the young disciples in the story, many of us seek validation from others, forgetting that true strength and peace come from within. This story reminds us that silence is not just about withholding words, it is about calming the storms of the mind. In reality, life's greatest challenges often require us to pause, reflect, and listen, not only to others but to ourselves. When we stop reacting to every distraction and allow stillness to take root, we create space for clarity, understanding, and personal growth. The lesson here is simple yet profound: when we let go of pride, judgment, and the need to always be heard, we gain the ability to truly listen, to others, to nature, and to the whispers of our own soul. In a world that often glorifies noise and constant activity, finding moments of silence can be revolutionary. It helps us see beauty in the little things, appreciate the present moment, and connect with our deeper selves. Silence is not a weakness, it is a strength, a discipline that opens the door to wisdom and peace. So, as you navigate the complexities of life, remember the wisdom of the hermitage: speak less, listen more, and seek silence not only in the world around you but in the depths of your heart. In that stillness lies the power to face life's challenges with grace and to find joy in simply being.